What's up, guys? Back with another Mythic Legions review, and since this is a very recent post-PowerCon video, that of course means we're taking a look at a early release Wasteland figure from the Four Horsemen. We're taking a look today at Kronnaw. So this is the Trapjaw style figure, the tribute figure from the Horsemen. So very, very excited to be taking a look at this, because it's early and because it's a MOTU tribute figure and they're always pretty sweet. So we've got him here in our standard Legions packaging, collector friendly as always. You can see him there in the window. You've got a bio for this guy on the insert on the side, and then the back of the packaging has the same artwork we've seen since Advent of Decay. I think we need some new artwork soon. I'm really looking forward to some change up in the packaging, but it's the same good stuff as always. So let's do it. Let's pull this guy out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, our Masters of the Universe Trapjaw tribute figure, Kronnaw. Of course, the name for this guy comes from Trapjaw's kind of previous life, where he's known as Cronus. So you've got a play on that name, which I think is kind of cool. It's a little bit more obscure, but come on, we all know who this is supposed to be. And frankly, I think we got a really cool figure here. It's a lot of just mishmash parts reuse again when it comes to this guy, but it kind of works to sell this kind of half-armored, half-bare-chested type of figure. And the skull is a really, really nice touch on this guy. So let's jump right in and see what this guy can do. He is, of course, you know, kind of standard for Legion's fare, very 1.0 style figure. You've got a head that can look up, and then he can look down. You've got bobble and rotation. This skull, of course, is articulated, so the lower jaw does move up and down. So you've got pretty good head movement there, and then you've got that added joint at the jaw. The arms go out, they rotate. You've got your swivel and hinge at the elbow, swivel forearm, and then you've got hinge and swivel at the wrists. You've got your waist ball joint down here, so backwards, forwards, side to side, and then full rotation. Nothing at the diaphragm though, since this is an older style body. Legs go out, they kick forward and backward. You've got your thigh cuts, you've got your single rotating knee, and then you've got rotation, rocker, and hinge down here at the ankle. So, you know, pretty standard stuff for Legions. What's really interesting with this guy, and I don't know if I haven't noticed it lately or not, but when you get this guy out of the package, a little piece of paper is going to come out and says to beware of stuck joints, and basically is telling you point blank, if you see anything stuck, you need to start heating things up. I did not have to do that here. This guy moves pretty well. The only things that were slightly tight are his shoulder joints, but not anywhere near needing heat. I just thought that was funny to actually see something like that pop out, but I've not had any issues with this guy as far as any stuck joints or anything that seemed overly tight or too loose. Truth be told, though, the main reason that you're going to get this figure is not articulation. He moves just like everything else you've seen. It's really the look and the style and the way he's built and the parts usage and the fact that he does very much look like Trapjaw. When you kind of, you know, just kind of let your eyes go hazy for a second, you know, yeah, that's definitely a Trapjaw style silhouette there. So it all comes down to the parts usage and, of course, the colors. A lot of colors we don't really see a lot in this line, so like the bright blues and greens in particular. But this figure is, again, you know, just kind of a mishmash of parts. So we've got, you know, like knight style forearms and gloves, and then you've got thighs like that. You've got your more evil Dark Knight style shin guards and the more evil style armored feet. So stuff you see on, say, like Keltis, for example. This is also Keltis's belt as well, just as an example. You've got a sheath built into this one, which isn't too common in the line, but then you've got the big skull here, and you've got the kind of furry loincloth and the leather straps that hang down. I love this green. I love this color choice. It very much fits in with Trapjaw's colors. It's a very, very bright and vibrant green. Not to mention the fact we've got this very, very saturated and deep blue. So that goes along with, you know, his arm, and of course the original Cronus head that you have for, say, your MOTU Classics figure very well matches the color on this chest. So you've got some of those ideas when you get what's going on in terms of how you can pull Trapjaw into here. You've got your kind of mechanical legs, you've got your green and red accents, and then you've got a very blue torso. But then, of course, you have, in place of a robot arm, you have a fully armored arm here, which does not have any green on it, which I kind of was surprised about. The inlay color is a little different. It's more of a pewtery kind of color, but I think it works really well. I mean, it's hard to deny that this combination of parts with this color scheme looks anything other than like Trapjaw, and I think they did a great job kind of piecing it all together. There's a lot of parts here that I really dig. You know, it's all stuff we've seen before, but in this configuration, I'm pretty happy with it. We've also got a pauldron here, so I already went and put it on him, because this guy is really meant to be displayed with the one pauldron to give him that asymmetrical look, which frankly, I'm a big fan of. I like it. It doesn't always work, but I think it works on this guy in particular because of the bare-chested design and just the idea behind him being Trapjaw. He kind of needs something there to bulk him up a bit. And then, of course, you've got this pretty wild head sculpt, which is absolutely one of the main selling points on how to bring the idea of Trapjaw to the table on this one. Now, obviously, Trapjaw is not a skeleton, but I get the idea behind what they did here because we don't have a head that has a metal jaw on it. So to give him that moving mouthpiece, let's throw a skull on him. And it works really well in terms of kind of how he's built in the bio on the package. You've got a very bright green skull that, you know, definitely matches the colors on the armor and then the belt. And then the lower jaw is this kind of rosy red metallic color, which works really well. It's a nice contrast, but then of course it gives you the whole Trapjaw vibe. He also has a removable helmet piece. This does not actually come on the figure in the package, but I think it's kind of meant to be on him most of the time, just to kind of sell everything, and it just pops on and off, and it matches the color of his jaw as well. So it kind of completes the helmet, really, because that's really the whole deal with Trapjaw is the red runs from the top to the bottom, and then you've got the green face. So it works really well to kind of sell with existing parts a very Trapjaw design while also being far more evil looking and definitely something you would only see in Mythic Legions, but you still get the idea. Now for accessories, Kronnaw here comes with a pretty decent spread. He doesn't come with anything too crazy, but he does come with a weapon we don't see very often in general in the line that I'm a huge fan of. Of course, we've already talked about the removable crown, which I really think is meant to be on that skull at all times, and the pauldron, which again I think is kind of meant to be on him at all times. So you've got two accessories right there that can be counted as such, but you've also got an extra head sculpt, and this is a head sculpt that we see a lot in this line. I know some folks are kind of getting tired of seeing it. It is honestly my favorite head sculpt in the entire line, so I'm still not tired of it yet, and I really like this very matte black color. It's incredibly dark. It's almost like a void, and you've got the silver horns that match the silver inlay on the pauldrons and on that right arm, so it kind of ties him together a little bit more when you don't have the green and red head on. Beyond that, you of course have got a lot of standard accessories that we see in the line. You've got two of the straps for this guy, similar to how Adamon comes with two straps. He has a bare chest and only has two straps as well, which is kind of an interesting thing there. You've got one of the standard swords in the line, so black hilt and gray kind of gunmetal handle. You've got this little axe here. I believe this is mostly seen with dwarves, right? Or at least that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe some orcs too. But black handle and, of course, a gunmetal-y blade there. Similar, keeping in line with the sword. But my favorite accessory that he comes with is the flail. This is awesome. I really like these. I think it fits well with this particular character, no matter how you got him kind of decked out. I think this really works to make him look far more menacing because he definitely looks to be a very sinister and evil character, and I think this works really nicely. Like, who else has this? Gonks has it, and I really dig the idea of just anything with a spiked ball on a chain absolutely does it for me. So when I see that, it's kind of an instant win for me in terms of that character's favored weapon. But he comes with a solid array of accessories. Nothing too crazy outside of the flail, but you do have a lot of extra stuff here to kind of customize him as you see fit. And of course, we have to kind of do a comparison between our Kronnaw figure and Trapjaw from MOTU Classics. This is the best way to get the point across as to how similar in design and approach they are. So, you know, you've got your robotic legs over here on Trapjaw, so you have fully armored legs. On Kronnaw, he has the green belt with the skull, so you've got a green belt with a skull, blue arm, blue chest, and of course blue arm and chest. And then the pauldron helps to kind of bridge the gap between the chest plate on the Classics figure, but then you have a fully armored arm to give you the robotic arm, or the weapon arm for Trapjaw. And then of course the head sculpt. So you've got the upper part of the head that is green, the lower jaw is red, the lower jaw also moves on this figure again, and then the crown helps kind of tie that together with the full helmet that Trapjaw himself has to kind of keep the red all around and then the green in the middle. So I think they did a really, really good job here to kind of make this figure look as close to Trapjaw as possible while still fitting within the confines of Mythic Legions. He very much looks kind of goofy in some respects, but at the same time, you could see, yeah, some, dark wizard or necromancer brought this thing to life and he just happens to be all sorts of crazy looking, and it works really well on its own level, but then when you get and care for the homage, you can see how well they did to bring all of that through. And I think this is probably one of my favorite MOTU tributes just because of how wacky he is, but how well he still works. So yeah, I mean, it's a Mythic Legions figure, and I like it. That's pretty much the norm, isn't it? But this one's really fun and really weird, but he's really cool. I mean, it's a goofy looking figure that maybe not everybody needs, but as someone who also really loves Masters of the Universe and really loves the Classics line, I dig everything about it when they do these tribute figures, especially when they get it so right like this one. Everything on this particular figure is a nod to Trapjaw in some way. They're very, very similar while still, of course, having very, very different, unique sculpts. But it works, and you can see that they did exactly what they set out to do by reproducing Trapjaw with the parts of Mythic Legions. And I think he looks really cool. I'm really happy with this figure, and definitely glad to add this one to the collection. So that's going to do it for this look at the Mythic Legions Wasteland Kronnaw figure. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.